What's up, y'all? You know what time it is. Welcome back to the All Artist Studio for another exciting episode for our All Artist series. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming a person that is multi genre talented, an artist, producer, and engineer based in Southwest Florida. The goal and mission of his brand and music is to impact, influence, and inspire others to pursue their passions unapologetically. Co hosts and listeners around the globe, welcome Kev Speaks Truth.
Thank you. I feel so special.
You are, brother. Welcome in, welcome in. Just taking a moment to just ask how you feeling, how you doing. Um, yeah,
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Hectic kind of past 24 hours, but I'm grateful to be here. Grateful to sit down with you guys, and I'm excited.
Yeah. So I'm standing up on this interview at my new standing desk. Thank you to
Ooh.
Amazon.
See, we both got two new setups. We both got two new
Okay,
setups.
okay.
You
Jace
know what I'm
got a new
saying?
setup, y'all. Listeners around the globe, he on the couch.
We
So
in different
Moves.
areas.
yeah, so we're gonna see how that goes this interview. But Kev, first
Yeah.
starting off, introducing you to new fans, to our
Mm.
listeners. How did you decide? How would you describe your musical journey to where it is right now?
Oh man, it's been interesting. I'll say this. I'll say that to say the least. I always kind of grew up with music in the household to a certain extent. None of my parents are musicians, but growing up Hispanic, I spent a lot of time with music being everything that we do, whether it be when it came to cooking, cleaning, family events. So I grew up in New York, kind of being exposed to that, and also being very exposed to the arts. My mom brought me to a lot of plays and ballets and stuff when I was young. So I just, from a very young age, really loved and appreciated media and art. And that kind of influenced me to want to sing on my own. And then growing up
Hmm.
in the church, doing a little bit of singing in the choir, like most people do. The church always finds
Yep.
somewhere for you to go.
Yep.
So I did a lot of singing in church and a lot of plays in church, and it kind of just eventually over time I realized like, okay, this is something I'm really passionate about. But it wasn't until probably maybe I was 17, 18 years old, I realized like, yeah, this is a career that I want to pursue. It took a long time to get to that point. So
Yeah.
definitely an
That's
interesting journey.
Yeah, especially to now. So, you talked about church. I mean, I think we all on this call, and then like all of our guests that we have had have some type of roots to the church, and
Yeah.
there's probably something bigger needs to be studied there. But who are you beyond music? Like, what is Kev Speaks Truth beyond music?
I think that's something I'm actively trying to learn every day. I think I'm at a
Mm.
point in my life right now where I'm 26. I've been making music professionally since I was like 18, 19 years old. But it's been such a big part of my life for so long that I'm just now kind of getting to a point. It's like, okay, if that were to be removed, what else would there be? You know what I mean? Like, who
Mhm.
are you, and what are the things that you're also passionate about aside from this? So that's been something that I can say the last year or so has really been me kind of learning more about, like, remembering how much I enjoy reading, remembering how much I enjoy camping and hiking. You know what I mean? Just getting back into things that like kind of make me feel like a kid again. I feel like
Right.
during that time I just had so much fervor and excitement for life.
Mhm.
It's like you have gratitude without even knowing that that's what it is. And that's something that I'm really trying to work on more of now, is just getting back into finding who that is, like finding that little kid in me again, and kind of being re-inspired by him to do other things other than just being a musician.
Jasmine speaks to that always, so I'm gonna let her have
Always. I'm always doing things for the small
that.
version of me.
You
Doing
got
like
to,
got to. I have
got
a
to,
niece.
man.
I have a niece. She's 5. I'm living through her
Oh, I love
every
it.
day. So
They're really living like some of the best life ever right now.
you
Like
know
They
they
the
got a
are.
kid.
access,
They are.
the access they
They
have, the
are.
technology, these TV shows, bro. Like we didn't have it good like that when I was a kid, bro.
No.
We had like Blue's Clues, Dora, and that was about it. They got
Diego, if
Bluey,
you
this
if you
one, that.
had it.
Yeah, exactly. Diego maybe like, but now
Like
these
they
kids, they're in good ways and bad ways. They just are blessed to
Mhm.
have so much access, So it's like they're living a whole different world, bro. Like I can't even imagine being 5 right now. Like
I
it's not even
can't.
what?
I
You
can't
really
yo.
outside with it, you know what I'm
being
saying?
5 right That's
That's
real,
funny.
Kev. That is
That's
real.
real. Okay.
Take me
But
back.
no. But let's reel it back on in. Let me say, so as the founder, you're the founder of Speak Your Truth Records.
Yeah.
What inspired you to create a platform where you dedicate basically to uplifting a community and really supporting local artists and brands in the way that you do?
I'm gonna quote Viola Davis on that. It was kind of like you got to see it to believe it. So for so long, I wanted to do music, and I wanted to own a studio. I wanted to do these different things, and I wanted to get involved, but it was like really hard. I grew up in Orlando, where like it's a very prevalent music scene, but because it's such a transient city, it's really hard to make long term connections and be able to really build like something out of that. And so it got to a point where I was like, all right, like I want to do this. I don't see it around me, so I need to be the one to do it first. And so at the beginning of the pandemic, I got furloughed from my job in Orlando, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna start recording people. Like I've been recording myself for a little bit. I was like, I don't know everything, but it should be a kind of a good progression in the next step, right? And basically, from 2020 to 2023 was like me not only I moved to Southwest Florida, and then I started kind of meeting more people, bringing more artists in the studio, and it kind of became more clear like what I really wanted out of it. And I was like, all right, I want this to be more than just a studio. I want it to be an artist development agency. I want it to be a safe space. I want it to be somewhere where someone can walk in the room, they've never done this before, and they can walk out of the room like, wow, I feel like I'm actually doing it now. And also just the wanting to be able to give
Yeah.
kids, specifically minorities, what I mean, someone to look up to and to be inspired by. Like when I was in high school, no one told me this was a career. No one showed me that it was an opportunity, and therefore I didn't pursue it for college. I didn't really even know it was there. So it's also kind of being able to be that person in the community, and to younger kids to be like, hey, like there's a career in this, that isn't just being the Drakes or the whatever, or being a trap artist or doing whatever. It's like you can make great music, you can be a producer, you can be an engineer, A&R, cover art designer. Like there's so many different things. So just showing them that it's really possible. Like I work for myself most days. I only work 2 days out of the week at a part-time job, and that's really just come from that dedication and that willingness to try. So it's a lot of me just wanting to be the thing that I didn't see when I was younger
Wow.
for that younger generation.
Mm. So there's a I'm assuming there's a lot of opportunity for that in South Florida. Like, is there a large pool for you to like pick from? And
Definitely, like I live in Naples, which is on the southwest side. So it's interesting because obviously everyone knows the southeast, so you got Miami, you know what I mean, like that's a
right,
huge
right,
musical
right.
hub. But with Southwest Florida, it's interesting because it's such a diverse and eclectic group of people here. You have people from the north, from the west, from
Hmm.
other countries who come here because this is where some of the most beautiful beaches are. So it attracts like a really interesting group of people, and I can honestly say, like, and anyone in Naples will tell you this, there is something in the water here, because every artist you meet here you're like, why are you here? Like, why are you not in a New York or a Chicago or one of these bigger cities? And they all tell you the same thing. They're like, I felt like I was called here.
Mm.
So it has been like, I've had the blessing of, like, obviously I record myself. I also record a few different artists: No Conflict, Kev, Takeoff, Burford, Boy Paco, and Daniel Ortiz. And all of those kids I've met really just through doing shows, doing events here. They've come to my shows and approached me and be like, hey, I want to work with you. So it's really just like, there's a lot here. There's a lot of youth here that's budding and looking for, like I said, looking for people to look up to, looking for things to do, looking for things to be inspired by. And I
Hmm.
saw that as like a vacuum. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, like this is somewhere where I can be something more than what I am right now in Orlando, because I felt like in Orlando I was just one of many, instead of being one to lead many. So, and I feel like here I get the opportunity a lot more to lead and kind of direct and just kind of push these kids, you know what I mean, and be that welcoming and
About
supportive
what
voice that
age
youth
are
needs.
those that you work with?
So the youngest right now
Oh, okay.
is just
Okay.
turned, I want to say, 22. And then the oldest one is 27, which is Daniel,
Okay.
and Daniel's actually older than me by like a few months, because I'll be 27 in October. But yeah, so like kind of within that zillennial
Yes.
range, I
Yes.
guess you could
Yes. Yes.
say.
Yes. Yes. New
But
term, by the
yeah,
way.
and then also like yeah, definitely a new term, definitely a new term. Um, but definitely like definitely that's probably the youngest person I've had the opportunity to work with yet. I have had the opportunity to do like other stuff with like the church, like helping with
Hmm.
certain things, but no one, I haven't had the blessing yet to work with like a younger age group. That is something that like I'm in the process of doing right now, is trying to build out like a course that I can be able to offer, where I can kind of take kids on like, hey, this is how you make a beat, this is how this happens, and this that and the third. And also trying to, we're in the process of putting on our first like big event this
Nice.
August. It's like a back to school event, and just that same idea of trying to like get closer and closer to the youth, because I feel like that's where everything starts. And being able to kind of show them at a young age, like, hey, like, you don't have to pursue the different things that maybe you see other people pursue, even in music, like you don't have to rap about killing and drugs or whatever, to be successful. You can talk about positive things, talk about hanging out with your friends, talk about how much you love your mom. You know what I mean? Like, it can just be a form of expression. So that's really what it's been about. Like I'm a firm believer we are given this talent, like by God, by a higher power. So it's like, don't spoil it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're given the opportunity to do it, think about, there are people who wish they could sing, that would pay 1,000 millions of dollars to be able to write or rap or do whatever. And some of the things that we do just naturally. So
Hmm.
it's like, know that that was intentional. So like, don't waste it on something that like is so, I think, short term. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you might become rich in the
Mm.
short term or whatever, but like, how are you feeding yourself and your community and your legacy long term by doing that? You're not. You're not. How are you teaching kids longevity if you're telling them, yeah, go pop this, go shoot this, go do this with this person? It's like, I want to see my community thrive. I want to see 70, 80-year-old artists, you know what I mean, like in hip hop, the same way we see it in rock. So it's just, wanting to change that.
And I wanted to talk to you about balance because I really like what you've talked about so far, but like obviously like the creative aspects of your music, with the business side of running a record label.
Yeah.
That's got to be really, really obviously a lot to handle. Like you
Yeah.
talked about the people that you mentor, right, and also
Yeah.
that are signed to you as well, that you're working with, that you're also developing, that you're also producing for. So it's got to be like a lot to turn on and a lot to turn
Yeah.
off, a lot to put on the shelf. We also talk about the mental health aspect of like the independent artist as well, like
Yeah.
and like where you have to compartmentalize things and like also make executive decisions that may be uncomfortable, or
Yeah.
also like finding time where I'm taking off the artist suit and I'm taking off the executive suit, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm just being me right now. I'm
Yeah.
just Kev. So I wanted to talk to you about that balance, and see like how are you navigating that those challenges.
Balance is something I like. I'm a Libra, so it's something that it's like my best and worst enemy at the same time. I'm constantly trying to figure out that balance. I can honestly say that something that's helped me with that balance was getting married. When I met my now wife, I was 18 years old. I was like really passionate about this, and she was like the first person to really like tell me like, okay, well, if you're gonna do that, then like, you got to do it. And so she's always kind of been like my rock, is like reminding me like, hey, like, as important as this is, like, you have a life to live outside of this. You don't want to be on your deathbed, and you look at when you have that like that highlight reel, you don't want 75% of it to
Mm.
be you staring at a screen. You know what I mean? Like, you want it to be those memories that you make with me, with our kids, with your mom, your dad, and she knows how much family is such a big part of who I am. So she kind of helps me to have that balance. Like, I tell a lot of people that if I didn't
Hmm.
have her, I really don't think I would be able to have that balance. I think I would be so much more willing to just like destroy my body, my mind, and my soul pursuing this. But she's really the one, like, just is my rock. Like, she holds me down faith wise. She like prays with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's
Mm.
like her parents are Baptist pastors, so coming from I'm from New York City, my mom is gay, her parents are
Mm.
Baptist pastors from Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like, complete
Mm.
night and day difference.
Mm.
But just the fact that she shows me the love and the support that she does, like, it's really made it easier for me to be able to have those moments of, okay, let me put this down and be a person. Like, I need to process what I'm feeling right now. I need to process what I'm going through right now. Because it's also like, being an artist, I'm on top of, I'm supposed to be doing my own thing. You know what I mean? Like, I have to make time to express myself through my art. But a lot of times I get so caught up in, I'm working on
Mm.
this thing for this person. I got to go here for that, and I got to help this person with this. And she sees that. She sees when like I'm not giving myself that time. So I would say, like, for balance, like, it's her. Like, if I didn't if I didn't have her, I really don't think I would care to have that balance. You know what I mean? She makes me want to have it. She makes me see the value in like being a person and not just being a productive
That's
machine.
beautiful.
Right.
So I would say she's the cornerstone for sure, no doubt.
Oh, what's the
Awesome.
cornerstone's name, if you don't mind my?
Kelsey Butler or Kelsey
Oh,
Cost
Miss
now.
Right.
Yeah,
Kelsey.
we've been
Oh,
married. We've been married. We're about to be a year in November, so it's like we're still new.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we've been together like 8 years, so it's
Congrats.
like I was already married to her, but now it's like for real.
Oh,
So it's been good.
Felt.
It's been a good
That
year so
is.
far.
that's beautiful.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Really, really beautiful answer.
Yeah. So you mentioned that music and creation have allowed you to kind of find this new sense of identity and confidence.
Hmm.
And this transformation really influenced your artistic expression and the connection that you have with music. Has it changed any? This.
Definitely, definitely. I feel like when I first started making music, I
Mm.
didn't really know why I was making it. I felt like I was just like wanting to do it because it was cool or because, like I mean, I grew up being a huge Lil Wayne and Drake fan. So it was like I wanted to be Lil Wayne like every other, person in 2008. So, I was just like I
Right.
want that life. I want that
Right.
attention and, whatever. So when I first started making music, it was very much about that. Like all the stuff I rapped about was like, yeah, I got this, that, and the third. And then my mom one day
It's
was like, you're 13. You
rememberable.
don't got any hoes. You don't got any clothes. You don't got any cars. What are you rapping about? You know what I mean? And she,
Wow.
what to this day, bro. I even put it in a song. I even put it in a song how like I was tight. I walked. You know how like how Kevin Hart has that one scene in the comedy special where he's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck you, I'm running away." Like that. That was my energy, bro. I was like hurt, but in hindsight, like I'm so glad she did because it really forced me to look at like the grand scheme, like what is the intention? What am I doing this for? So over the last few years, it's become a lot more clear as far as like now when I'm making the music, it's so very few that it's ever like, oh, I want to try to make this sound a certain way or I want to, whatever. It's really just like what am I feeling and who am I trying to resonate with? And I feel like that's been the biggest change, just like knowing what that clear intention is. I feel like intention is something that a lot of younger artists lack. They just kind of think they want this, but they don't understand just the level of sacrifice and work it takes to get to where you want to go. And if your intention is just, oh, I want to make money, that's just not a strong enough intention. You know what I mean? That's not a strong enough reason to do this. Like you won't that will fail multiple times over. You know what I mean? It has to be like the example I give people all the time is kind of like in animes or in cartoons, like that resolve, that like one moment, like, oh, my dad was murdered by whatever. Like you gotta have that thing, that real reason behind what you're doing. Because if not, you're
Right.
not gonna be able to deal with the all the obstacles, all the people telling you, yeah, bro, you can't do that shit. Like I couldn't do it, so you can't do it. So you gotta have that intention. I think
Yeah.
that's really being a big part of it, is just getting to a point now where it's like it's to me it's the clearest it's ever been. Like what do I want out of this? And how can I get there? And now I was just talking to my wife about this. Like now I'm starting to finally be able to see like a path. Like, okay, if I continue doing this, I can see a clear path to these specific goals. You know what I mean? So it's definitely been that, just having a more clear, concise, and like driven mind towards that intention has really been the biggest change.
Somebody's been watching Naruto. I heard that. Somebody's been watching
I love
Naruto.
Attack on Titan, bro.
Yeah.
like
Somebody's
Seven
Your
been
Deadly
dad was
watching.
Sins, like
murdered by whoever.
you know what I
Felt
mean?
that. Felt
It's
that.
just it's the
But they
truth.
do have
We-
that storyline
yeah.
every time, and they get
Every
that
every
power up
anime,
boost.
know.
and
it's
they come
always
against-
that one
I
like
heard that. I heard that flute. I heard that classic Naruto flute.
you know what I'm saying? Like
You own it. You own it.
it's true, like that's just like
The flute in the background whole time.
That's what I heard.
Exactly.
I was like, okay, Hokage. Like we've had a couple of anime influenced artists on as well. Dende, I don't know if you heard out of Katy, Texas.
Ooh, I love Texas. I got
yeah.
mad love for Texas.
Yeah, he his name Dende actually comes from Dende from Dragon Ball.
Oh wow!
yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, which is, and we were like, why'd you pick? Because I was like, is it the Dragon Ball reference? He's like, actually, it is. He's like, because remember, they couldn't summon the Dragon Balls they couldn't summon the dragon without Dende. And I was like, oh!
I'm the missing link.
I was like, I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So, Just even thinking about Hokage, similar to Naruto, like Naruto had to, speak to the young ninjas, the young OGs,
Yep.
as the big OG. And so now, like, you are kind of, your own big OG as, a person who runs a label. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You have artists that you're influencing. You know what I'm saying? And that you're helping produce music. What advice, do you have for, the artists that are looking for going that independent route, that maybe want to start their own label, that, have that type of passion, based on your own experience, just giving words of wisdom and encouragement that you would share,
Yeah.
because obviously this isn't obviously an easy path.
No.
There is no right or wrong answer, honestly, in the path that you go.
Yeah.
But like, I know for you, your path is very personal to you. So I just wanted
Yeah.
you to, obviously share what you can and give what advice that you can, for like why you chose this path and why it's been fulfilling for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first thing I would say is like you got to be willing to fail forward. A lot of this is failing. A lot of this is making a song, putting it out, no response. Making a song, marketing it, no response. Making a song, hey, I got one person to like it. It's a lot of like being willing to fail. So you first and foremost, you got to understand that like it's gonna be a lot of failing. That's gonna suck. But if you can learn to love that part of it, then it makes it exciting because it's like then every song can just be better than the last one. And the other piece of advice I would give them is just figure out what's your why. You know what I mean? Like, what is the reason behind why you're doing this? If you got an intention for this, whether it be because you want to get your mama out the hood, or you wanna be a voice for people who never had a voice before, you wanna whatever it is, figure that out before you start doing anything. Figure out why, because that's gonna inform who you're speaking to, how you speak to them, what you talk about, why you're not or why you are talking about certain things. You know what I mean? Like knowing that why, that intention, I think is the most important thing. And also just have fun, dude. Like have as much fun as you can while you can. Once you start taking it seriously, I feel like that's when you lose the magic. That's something that me and my friends talk a lot about. When you start thinking about like, oh, is this audience gonna like this, or should we market this way, or like that's when it just gets like really lame. So just like stay having fun, like have as much fun as possible, with that why, you know what I mean, like and just embrace it. And I think if you have that clear intention, you're having fun and you're willing to fail forward, like you'll be successful in this industry regardless of what success looks like to you. You know what I mean? Whether that's, like I said, I use the example of Drake all the time because he's such a easy person to relate to in that way. But like not everybody is him. You know what I mean? There are tons of artists that tour 3 months out the year at only in 4 or 5 states. You know what I'm saying? And they never work a real job. And they all they do is music and they take care of their family with that. And then there's also people who are radio station hosts and or this or that. So it's just figure out your why, and just be willing to fail forward and just have fun with it. And if those things happen, like you won't when you get to the I've been doing this for over 10 years now, I would say, like since I was 13, and there's never been a day where I'm like, I don't really care to do this, or I don't know why I'm doing it, or whatever. Like now, whenever it's like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
And what does that feel like? Which happened? When did that switch happen for you?
I can probably say, I think it's just been a recent thing. I can really say like the last like 5 or 6 months, I feel like I've started to really finally like realize or like kind of take a step back and be like, wow, like I'm already here. Like I've already made it to a certain extent. Like 13-year-old me, if I were to go back in
Right,
time and tell him, yeah, bro, like this is what you do full time. This is the people you're working with. You just came from LA. You're
right,
going here. You're doing this. He would be like, what the fuck? He would think I'm the coolest guy in the world. So it's been really a recent thing, just like having
hmm,
this realization. And I think a big part of it too has been getting married, because it kind of has forced me to like take stock of who I am and who I want to be as a husband, as a father, as a family member, now a part of her family. And it's kind of forced me to be like, wow, like man, like you've really come a long way. You know what I mean? And you should not take pride in it, but be
right.
grateful that you've been able to be brought as far as you have. And be excited for what's to come. So it's really been that, just the last few months of just me kind of slowly, I think, just taking time to finally reflect and then be like, wow,
Right.
like what am I worried about? Like what am I tripping about? There's a big one of my favorite quotes is from a Big Crit song, where he
Mm.
has like the sample and it's like, it's God given. All you gotta do is show up. And that's something I've really been learning is like I just gotta show up, keep showing up, keep putting in the work. And he's
That's
gonna provide no
Booby
matter what.
Miles. You've been
There you go.
listening.
You knew the song. You know what I'm saying, bro? Perfect. That makes me happy.
Booby
um,
Miles, man, it's God given. All I gotta do is show up.
exactly. So that's something that I'm really finally starting to understand
Mhm.
now.
Your experience as an
Mm-hmm.
artist now, and generally we ask this question to every artist
Yeah.
because um, our goal is to be the ultimate destination for independent artists and then to provide tools and resources for those artists. So thinking about your
I love that.
ecosystem and outside of um,
Yeah.
just your close 1 degree of support, like what is it that is in your ecosystem that really has helped and contributed
Yeah.
to your ascension or to your growth um, in the industry?
I would say a large part of it has been, as an artist, I would say a large part of it has been my willingness to put myself out there, especially with the internet. You know, I think put this in a song I'm about to put out next month, where it's like the internet has brought me farther than my living room, and that's something that like I never thought was possible. So really like the people that I've met, I mean, I have friends in Dallas and California and Canada and foreign countries that I've met just because of doing this online. You know what I mean? Putting a video out there, being a part of a group chat, or being involved with underrated artist season, or whatever it is. It's like being able to be a part of different, I guess different platforms and just different spaces has really kind of helped me to grow as an artist, in the sense of now I have more friends, now I know more people, I have more of that support, and also kind of like to kind of teach me, you know what I mean? Because living in America, I feel like also we're very close minded to certain things. So it's like getting the opportunity to work with different people from different states, different countries, has kind of changed how I make my music and how I approach music, looking at it at a more global standpoint. Like right now with Afro beats being like so big, and we're seeing drill and all these other different things. Like it's just so cool. So for me, I would say that growth has really come from just being willing to put myself out there on the internet, and putting myself in spaces and in places that I thought, I don't know if I'll fit in here, or I don't know if this will work, but I'm being called to do it. So let me see what happens, and it's just kind of paid itself forward. But that's been a big part of it, just that willingness to put myself on the internet, and take a chance, and take a chance on myself, and trust that there's somebody out there who's gonna relate to me, or who's gonna feel like they see a part of themselves in me. And then that has ultimately been a big part of it too, just that confirmation, like when you get someone who's like, I felt this song, or I agree with you, or you know what I mean, that like, okay, yeah, like this is, I'm on the right track. So I will say that's been a big part of it, just that online presence, being able to put myself out there more, as scary as that's been,
Yeah.
has really kind of built me up even more in that way.
Yeah, it's always so crazy to me when people be like, "Yeah, I actually listened to the podcast." I'm like, "Hold on, what?"
Well, you're like, what?
Whole time that's
That's
the
like for me. It's
goal, but
yeah. But you're like, what? Like people will tell me
like just
about I
show
do these
up.
weekly wrap ups every week, and I'll go to an event. People are like, oh, I love your weekly wrap ups. I'm like, you watch the weekly wrap up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. Again, like I'm just doing it because you know what I mean.
Don't
Like,
tell me you listen to the podcast. Don't
because
tell
I'm
me
like,
you're a
ah.
fan.
But
That's
that's
gonna
really
weird
what it's
me
like.
out.
It's just sometimes like it's just strange. It's strange getting that kind of confirmation,
Yeah,
and but it's also a testament. You never know who's watching. You never
exactly,
know who's like
exactly.
being inspired by you. So it's even more reason for you to do it.
That's
Absolutely.
what's
So, going into the instructions, we have selected famous R&B and rap artists, prepared a list of clues and descriptions for each artist. Your objective is to guess the
Mm,
artist based on the clues provided by the host. You will have a set limit, a time limit, which is going to be 2 minutes, to guess as many artists as possible. If you're unsure about a particular artist, you do have a pass. You can ask to pass. Javon will keep score of the
okay.
number of correct guesses made. Good luck.
good
Okay.
luck.
Jeez. This is intense. I feel like I'm on like How to Be a Millionaire.
Right, right.
That's the
All right.
vision, though.
That's what I feel. I'm like,
That's the vision.
That's the intent.
2 minutes on the clock. Hold on,
Okay.
let me
all
wipe my
right.
screen.
I love
Uh,
how he's like, that's the vision. That's
that's
the mission.
literally the vision. Game show. Ready?
All
Go.
right.
This rapper and actor is known for his songs Empire State of Mind and 99 Problems.
Oh, Jay-Z.
This R&B singer-songwriter has a unique falsetto voice and is famous for songs like Adorn and Sure Thing.
Oh, Miguel.
This rapper, also known as Slim Shady, is known for his hits Lose Yourself and Stan.
Eminem.
This female R&B artist, nicknamed the Princess of R&B, had hits like Age Ain't Nothing But a Number and One in a Million.
I might have to. I might have to pass on that one. I'm.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pass.
I don't
That's a
have an answer.
pass.
Yeah.
This rapper and actor starred in the film Boys in the Hood and is known for songs like It Was a Good Day and Check Yourself.
Ice Cube.
This artist is known as the Queen of R&B and has hits like I Will Always Love You and I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Oh, Whitney Houston.
This R&B group, consisting of three sisters, is known for their harmonies and songs like Waterfalls and No Scrubs.
TLC.
This rapper rose to fame with his debut album, Doggy Style, and is known for hits like Gin and Juice and Drop It Like It's Hot.
Snoop Dogg. We share a birthday.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
This R&B artist, known for his smooth vocals, has songs like Confessions and Burn.
Usher, baby. Usher.
This rapper was a prominent figure in East Coast hip hop and had hits like Juicy and Hypnotize.
Biggie.
Their debut album, Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music, introduced us to this group with tracks like Elevator, Me and You, and Spotty Oddie Dopalicious.
Oh, Outcast, baby. That's easy.
This artist achieved success as a solo artist with his album In My Mind and was featured on major hits like Blurred Lines with Robin Thicke.
Would that be Pharrell or would it
Correct.
be?
That's right. Okay.
Let's go.
Good
Okay,
job.
that's
It's 12.
I felt pretty
11
good about
No,
that.
that's
11, you used
11.
the pass.
That's
I used
11.
the
Oh,
pass.
you
Yeah,
used 11.
That's 11.
Oh, yeah, 11,
Man,
yeah.
I'm. What was that one though? I want to.
Leah.
I'm
Good job.
surprised.
Okay.
That was
Sick.
good.
I'm sick. sick.
Yeah, I was
Surprised
surprised
at
My mom would be pissed.
Yeah, I mean,
too.
but you almost got through the entire thing.
Yeah,
pretty
Like,
happy
almost
about that. I feel
did.
pretty proud of
Yeah,
myself.
yeah. That's good job. Good job. First game,
Failing forward.
hard launch. Went well.
hard launch.
Hard launch. I like that game though. That's fun. I like that a lot.
Good,
Thank
good,
you.
good,
We
good.
love that. Well, before we get out of here, we want the listeners around the globe to know how to tap in with you, what you got coming next, how they can, support you and do all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, so you can find me everywhere. Kevspeakstruth, all one word, all lowercase. I am gonna be putting out. I just put out a project called Songs for Cash this past month, which is like 5 kind of indie alternative, kind of good feel music, perfect for a drive or if you're hanging out with your family. And then I actually have some more hip hop based stuff coming at the end of this month. And yeah, just check me out. Show some love. I'm always here. If you need anything, you need someone to talk to, you have a question, you want to send me a meme, I'm all for that. So. Appreciate y'all.
We'll definitely send you a meme then, brother. So
I love a good laugh, man. Let me tell you. I
Yeah,
love a
hop
good
in the
laugh.
Discord. Dude.
Oh yeah, and a Discord. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hop in the Discord. Yeah.
Well, with that, y'all say bye.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all later.
Bye.